Hey y'all, it's David. I wanted to take a few moments before the inauguration of President Trump to just kind of talk a little bit about what's been on my mind. And as we begin to transition into what's a ceremonial new world order, my heart is heavy and my heart is hopeful. I have spent the last several weeks trying to reconnect with a lot of members of my community and double down and ground myself in this place where I call home. And I am recording this around 6 p.m. on Sunday, January 19th. And I just got home from a great photography event that was put together by Vince Chandler, who's a local photographer here, very talented. And it was hosted at Brother Jeff's Cultural Center, which is also an incredible community space. And there were a lot of community leaders and elected officials. The police chief spoke. Aonte Anderson moderated a panel. There were community leaders. There were indigenous leaders. And I was reminded while I was there that all we really do have is one another. And I'm planning to schedule this post to come out at the same time as the inauguration is happening. And there was a theme through the conversation today about revolution and what that looks like. And I believe it was Councilwoman Chantel Lewis, friend of the podcast, friend of mine, who said that we all have a role that we are going to be playing in this revolution. And last night I was at a game night that some friends were hosting, and I've become so fun at parties. I was asking my friends there what role they were planning to play during the revolution. And one person said that they would be a pamphlet distributor. And I thought that that was really interesting. But my question is to you all, if you're serious about resisting what is about to transpire with the inauguration of Donald Trump, what role are you going to play in the revolution? And I have talked about it a couple of times on the podcast about my seceding from the Union article that I am going to be posting to Substack. And I'm going to post this after I record this, but I wanted to just read it as the way that I intend for the article to be heard through my voice. And so, yeah, I wrote my article about seceding from the Union, the United States. I really believe that, and I was talking with a friend last night at this friend gathering about like what needs to happen, and we were both talking about how we need to call a constitutional convention, and it's time, and we need to start figuring out how to break apart the empire. It's time. And the way I approached the secession article, originally it was very heady. Originally, it felt very intellectual. Originally, it felt very much like a think piece. And then something shifted toward the end of me writing the article. I started writing in basically like poetry prose almost. And the feeling started to show up for how I was feeling in this moment, in this time and place that I am living in. And I decided to write a breakup letter, a Dear John style letter to the United States of America. So I am going to read it to you all in my voice, and then I'm going to publish it on Substack, and then I'm going to let you all sit with it. So I'm going to give the little like promotion spiel now because I want to end with the writing, the piece. And I want you all to sit with it, and I want you all to let me know what you think about it. And also I want you to let me know what your role in the revolution is going to be. So you can let us know at Call Me Limbo Pod on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. It's back up and running, evidently. So TikTok, Threads, and we also started a Red Note account. So we're also on Red Note. Also give us a follow over on Substack. You can read the piece that I'm about to read. And then send us an email, callmelimbopod@gmail.com. Let me know if what I'm about to read is going to resonate with you at all. So here's my piece. Here's my letter. A breakup letter to us. To America. I love you, or at least I think I do. Which is why what I'm about to tell you is probably going to hurt me more than it's going to hurt you. I've told some friends recently that I've emotionally seceded from your union. I feel like I don't belong with you even though I carry one of your passports. I even made the investment in global entry for you. I was serious about us. The you that was promised to me for most of my life no longer exists. Or maybe you never even existed. Work hard and you can succeed, you told me. I worked hard for us, and your success goalpost kept moving. I feel like I'm chasing something that doesn't exist. America, where are you? You know it would be easy for me to be resentful, and occasionally I am. I did everything you told me to do. I was valedictorian of my high school class. I went to college. I went to grad school. I achieved professional certifications, and I went out of my way to tie my own self-worth to the external accomplishments you told me I needed to make this relationship work. I worked hundreds, if not thousands, of unpaid hours to climb your elusive corporate ladder. I think you wanted me to do that as a cost to me, but with no expense to you. And what did it get me? Imposter syndrome, burnout, and a distrust of power and hierarchy. You did this to me, America. I now also have an overwhelming desire within me to dismantle the entire foundation you told me to believe in our whole relationship. I no longer trust you. I'm not the only one who's going to be impacted in all of this. There's more than just you and me in this relationship. That's why it's so hard. I love all of us in this union. I must be honest, though. I can no longer place my hand over my heart when I hear your anthem. I can no longer stand for or say your Pledge of Allegiance. I can no longer support your individual liberties because it means I'm going to be harmed in the process. I can no longer support the current state of us. Also, why am I talking to a piece of fabric? That's kind of weird. What does support even look like anymore for us? Being able to feed our family without going into debt? Just having a roof over our heads? Having at least $500 in expendable income to cover an unexpected emergency? I just pray you don't hurt me and I end up with medical bills because of you. You try to break me, but the medical bills will bankrupt me. Even with insurance. What assurance? There's been none. You haven't even really tried to be uniting because you're never around. And yet you're always around. You surveil me constantly in public, at work, and even in my home. If I dare even ask you a question, you meet me with unbelievable force. Force like the world has never seen. You have tanks and guns, missiles and bombs, and rage. Lots and lots of rage. You are violent. You've always been violent. I should have seen the signs, but I can't blame myself. I see the signs now. We've been at war our entire relationship, inside and outside your home. You made me move in with you. You trapped me. I bet our relationship looked mostly great from the outside, though. In the beginning, you were fun to be seen with in public because you do put on a good show. You made it seem like we had it all, but really it was all a facade. You say that my opinion matters, but it has zero impact on how you treat me. You say you hear my needs and wants, but you ignore me when I express myself. Your representation of me is almost always misguided. You don't even know me. I'm tired of acknowledging what we used to be because you refuse to put your words into action. You say you're sorry and that you'll make it right. You've said that before, repeatedly. You're a liar. I get why people submit to you, though. You're big and scary. But I also believe that you have the capacity to love. Maybe you are capable of change. Maybe you're not. Maybe you can be repurposed, salvaged. But I can't be the one to fight for you. You have to be the one to change you because I'm changing me. Sometimes I wish we could have made it work, but I know deep down I'm better off without you. I just need some time to grieve the loss of your false promises. My freedom hasn't come free, but it's a cost I've been willing to pay. America, I'll always love the idea of us, but I must let go of that fantasy. As I lay your memory down to sleep, I'm feeling mostly nothing. Nothing other than the acceptance of your death. Death to America. May your death be peaceful, but revolutionary. This must happen to save me, to save us. There's no other option but to secede from your union. With very mixed emotions, David Kugler.